University of Oregon Assistant Professor of Political Science, Chandler James. Thanks for joining us in studio.
Happy to be here.
Well, Chandler, what are some other examples of places that have used ranked choice voting, and how do voters respond to it?
Alaska and New York City have ranked choice voting, and voters seem to be, at least in the New York City example, seem to be expressing satisfaction with ranked choice voting. They said that the campaigns were less negative as a consequence.
Now, how does ranked choice voting impact the power of the two major political parties? Specifically, I guess here in Oregon, does this hurt the minority party?
Well, ranked choice voting makes or ensures that candidates who are successful appeal to a broad base of voters. And so what ranked choice might do is make third parties more viable, because voters wouldn't waste their votes by not electing the most electable person.
Which would be a big change, obviously, from what we're used to. How could ranked choice voting impact political campaigns and the way we see those play out?
So we might expect that campaigns push forward a more moderate strategy, seeking to appeal to wider base of support. And we might see less negative campaigning as campaigns are seeking to obtain the second and third place votes.
Now, could you ever see a scenario where ranked choice voting is considered on a national scale?
I think that if more places try it out and see positive results, then we might see this go to more places, but not sure.
It will be interesting to see. We obviously see right there the sort of the controversy between it. Obviously, you're going to have people on both sides. We'll step away from ranked choice voting for a second. We have you in, and there's always a lot as we're less than 2 months away from the election. In Oregon, we all know, we've covered it here, 300 people were registered as voters in error. Does something like this impact voter trust? And have historically something like this happened that could impact voter turnout?
Well, voters need to make sure that they are voting for the candidates that they vote for, and if the system is not providing confidence to people, then that's certainly cause for alarm. And so it is important that votes be secure and voters feel that trust that their votes are going to be counted.
We've obviously also experienced, as we lead up to this election, we know the divisiveness in the country is high. It's led to some political violence that we've seen, to assassination attempts on former President Trump. In your experience, and as you look at history, why do you think this has kind of played out so far in this country and with this political camp, this specifically political season? And do you see political violence just becoming more common?
Well, this country has a long, sorrowful tradition of political violence. Several presidents have been assassinated. Others have been shot at and shot. And with President Trump's multiple assassination attempts, it just kind of demonstrates how much political violence plays a role in our politics, even though that's not something that we necessarily like to think about. And I think it's an unfortunate element to be introduced, and I hope that this behavior is put to a stop, because it can lead to disastrous results if people feel like their political violence is the only way to affect change.
And to go back to ranked choice voting, you had mentioned that it might change the way people campaign, and there might be more or less of a negative attack on the other party. Could you see that impacting political violence?
Yes, so campaigning has gotten really negative over the past couple of decades. And if it is the case that candidates must pursue or seek a broader appeal toward the public, seeking out people who run the gamut on the ideological spectrum, I suspect that would turn down the negative rhetoric and hopefully ease some of the tensions in our political discourse.
It's really important stuff that we were talking about, and there's so many different elements of political season that we can talk to. We hope to have you back as someone who can touch on not only what's going on here in Oregon, but even on a national, maybe even a global scale as well. So thanks so much for coming up here, Chandler.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Chandler.